Hey everyone, thanks for coming to this week's Page Inc. webinar. Today we're going to be talking about Pinterest and kind of going over an introduction to Pinterest and kind of get you guys used to the way that Pinterest does things. My name is Josh Allen. I'm a social media strategist here at Orange Soda. And we also have Crystal Burns here on the webinar with us as well. She's also a social media strategist, and so we're both going to be going through the slides today and introducing you to Pinterest and showing you how to use it and what it's used for. As we're going through the webinar, if you guys have questions, feel free to chat in those questions as we're going. One of us will be able to respond to those questions. And then if you still have further questions after the webinar, or if you have a question that requires a little bit more research on our end, feel free to email those to us at pageinksupport@orangesoda.com, and we'll be able to get a response to you shortly. So with that, we're going to go ahead and get started. So again, we're talking about Pinterest and really what it is and how we can use it. So first off, it's one of the newer social networks out there. It's kind of like Facebook, but more public and open as opposed to being friend-based. So you're not really sending out friend requests. It's kind of more like Twitter, where you follow a person, and we'll talk about that more. And there's more emphasis put on topics and content than the emphasis on building relationships. It's really a large digital bulletin board or a pin board, kind of like an online scrapbook. It's a way for you to organize and collect things that you love and really show those things off. And it launched just 3 years ago, actually, 3 years ago this month. So again, it's relatively new, but it's really taking off, and we're going to talk about some of the stats and some of the milestones that Pinterest has hit recently. So currently, they're at almost 50 million users. So they've got quite a large fan base, and obviously that's continuing to grow very rapidly. Pinterest, one of the cool things about Pinterest is that they were the fastest website in the world to get to 10 million users, faster than any other website in history, actually. So they have grown very rapidly and continue to grow very rapidly. Their Alexa rank is 35, and for those of you who don't know what the Alexa rank is, it basically is saying that Pinterest is the 35th most visited website in the world. So that's quite an accomplishment. Only 3 years in, and they're already the 35th most visited website in the world. Currently, Facebook and Google are kind of going head-to-head at getting that #1 spot, but Pinterest is quickly getting up there. For any of you business owners out there, Pinterest is a great way to promote your brand and promote different products. There's been a study that has shown that 69% of Pinterest users are customers or have bought something that they've either pinned or liked on Pinterest. So that should be very encouraging for any business owners out there. It's a great way to share your products and build awareness of your products, and then get sales leads. Pinterest users spend almost 100 minutes every month on Pinterest, whether that's following someone, pinning something, creating new boards, all of which we'll talk about here today. But they're really engaging a lot on Pinterest. Facebook users still has the highest amount of minutes per month that's spent on it by its users. but Pinterest, again, is growing very rapidly, and that number is continuing to increase. And then recently they received a $2.5 billion valuation. So obviously there's a lot of opportunity and a lot of value in using Pinterest and promoting your brand through boards and through pins on Pinterest. So we're going to talk about some of that stuff. We're going to first talk about what a board is, and then we'll go into detail about what pins are and how to follow people and how to pin and all of that. But first off, a board is the most fundamental thing you need to understand when you first start using Pinterest. So a board organizes your pins or your posts by topic. And you can make these secret or public boards. So you can make it so that they're either hidden from your followers or they're public, or so that anyone can see them. They're visible to everyone. And you can make both secret and public boards collaborative as well. So you can invite friends and fellow Pinterest users to collaborate with you on your boards. So for an example I have here, I'm a huge fan of Adidas. So if I want to see more Adidas stuff or see more of their products and more of their kind of artwork, I could create a public Pinterest board with pins all about Adidas, and you can see here that I have it titled Everything Adidas. And then I could invite friends to add to the board, so I could create it, or I could make it collaborative so that other people could add to it, and I could keep getting more and more pins, and I could, be opened up to a whole new set of Adidas artwork. So it's a really good idea to do if you want to see more, to be opened up to more new stuff. And then you can follow and unfollow on Pinterest. It's very similar to Twitter, like I said. Basically, when you follow someone, their pins will show up in your Pinterest home feed. And you can follow all of someone's boards or just the ones that you like best. And then if you want to manage who you're following, you can go to your profile and click following, and then you can, unfollow from there, which means you unsubscribe from that user, and you no longer get their pins in your home feed. And I know that sometimes there's concern that if I unfollow a person, they're going to get some notifications saying I unfollowed them, and then there's going to be drama. With Pinterest, you don't have to worry about that. There's no notifications that are produced when you unfollow someone, so they won't really know. So you won't lose friends, don't worry. You just won't see their pins in your home feed anymore. Crystal's going to talk more about what pins are and how to pin here. So let me go ahead and change the presenter to her. All right.
Okay, so as Josh said, I'll be going over what is a pin and how to pin. The first slide I'll go over is what is a pin. So basically, a pin is an image or a video that you can add to Pinterest. And the way that we describe Pinterest as an online bulletin board, your pin is basically your visual representation of what you're pinning. So along with the pin, you can also include captions. So as you can see this image right here. And the caption is completely up to your discretion what you want to include in that. For businesses, I mean, let's say you're doing a contest or something, you can promote it this way, or there's like enter our contest, and then when they click on the pin, it'll bring up an image, and that image can be redirected to your site. So yeah, that's one way to do it. Businesses will also, if they're pinning a product, something that they're selling, then usually the caption would be their business name and then along with the particular name of that particular product. So, and then there's also repins. So this is one of the ways to pin. A repin is basically, yeah. exactly how it sounds, when you see a pin on Pinterest. So this is an example. And when you hover over an image, when you're viewing it within Pinterest, it gives you the option to repin. So you simply just click on that, and then you can repin it to one of your own boards. So now we'll go over how to pin. So there are a few ways to pin. I just went over the repin option. So the other ways to pin would be to install the Pin It button. Before I go over that, I'll briefly mention the sign-up process, though, for Pinterest to get started pinning. It used to be set up to where you would have to get it, where you could only sign up via invite. So you'd have to know someone who's already on Pinterest and then be invited. But now it's convenient because you can sign up using your Facebook account or your Twitter account, or just set up an account using your email address. So once you get that set up and get a username, then you're set to go. So we'll go over the Pin It button, or bookmarklet as it's often interchanged. So you'll simply go to Pinterest.com and you'll click on About, and then there is a Pin It button option. So once you click on that, it'll bring you to this bottom screen, which is basically where you would take this Pin It button and simply drag it to the top of your browser into your bookmark bar. So it would look like this. Or if you're using Google Chrome, it installs the Pin It button, so you would see this red Pin It icon as displayed here. So that's one way to pin. And then the next way, there's also, so when you're in Pinterest, there's this Add button here. You'll click on the Add button, and it'll bring up these three options. But we're not creating a board, so we'll just focus on Add a Pin and Upload a Pin. With adding a pin, so this is if you have a web page that you want to insert the URL. So you could insert a URL into this Add a Pin. And basically what it'll do is it will bring up all of the images on that particular page that you inserted the URL for. And then you can select which one you want to pin, and then edit your caption and, yeah, edit your pin as you'd want it. So that's one way. And then the upload a pin is if you are uploading an image from your computer. So what you can do is you'd click Upload a Pin, then you would upload your image, and then once you pin it, you can then go in and edit that pin, and then you can select a forwarding address. So if you want it to go to your business page or a Facebook page, you can edit that address so the pin will be, the pin will go to where you want it to. And yeah, that wraps up how to pin. And now I will let Josh take over and close out the presentation with some Pinterest etiquette reminders.
Awesome. Thanks, Crystal. So Pinterest, because it's new and because it's increasing in the amount of users, they want to make sure that we're using it correctly. So there's 5 things that they want to remind us, 5 tips to pinning etiquette, as they call it, that they want us to remember as we use it. So the first one is to be respectful. So just remember that there's people on the other end of your comments, and there's other people that are viewing these pins, and so just be sure to respect other people as you're using Pinterest. Whatever you upload or whatever you comment on, make sure it's respectful of others. The second is to be yourself. Authenticity, or pinning things that express who you really are and what you really like, is a lot more important than getting lots of followers. And especially as a business, it's super important to be yourself and to be very authentic on Pinterest. Pinterest will make you very visible as a brand, and so don't be afraid of being yourself. That's going to increase the amount of followers and build stronger relationships with your customers. Number 3 is to give credit. Obviously, there's tons of creative work being shared on the internet, and especially on Pinterest. And so, if you repin someone's photo or pin a photo from the internet, make sure you give proper credit. Link back to the original source. in the description. Make sure that you put the name of the photographer or the artist. Just give the proper credit to the people that created that content. Number 4 is to stay alert. Again, because Pinterest is so new, and because there's so many users already, there is inappropriate content out there. So be alert of inappropriate content. If you do find some inappropriate content on Pinterest, be sure to report it. Pinterest wants to keep its website clean and fun for everyone of all ages. So make sure that you're helping out with that and helping them get rid of that. And then number 5 is to give feedback. Again, since they're new, they want to know what's working and what's not working for their users. So if you have suggestions on what might work better, be sure to go to their help center and make a suggestion. Or if you're having trouble with something, ask a question in their help center. That will help them figure out the problem and figure out a solution to the problem. Next week, we're going to be talking about how to use Pinterest for businesses specifically, as this was more of just an introduction to Pinterest as normal Pinterest users. So we're going to be talking about that, how you can help grow your business on Pinterest. So we look forward to next week, guys, and thanks for coming.